Hello everybody, how you doing today? Alright, gonna try to make this as quick as possible here because I got some shit I gotta do. So let's see if I can get this down in 2 minutes, give or take maybe 2.5. Gonna introduce a new segment today. Granted, what I'm about to do it on has been out for the last day or two, maybe 3, so sorry I'm a little bit behind. But it's a segment that actually I'm borrowing from ESPN. You know, during the NFL season they have that, come on man! You know, when somebody makes a stupid play or drops a perfect pass or does whatever, it's something that looks like it's going to be good, but then they fuck it up somehow. That's what this is, except it's, come on, man! Video game edition. Now, ordinarily, right there with that little pause, you know, I would have had some kind of nice titles come up and everything and some bopping music or something, but unfortunately, my editing ability is downgraded now because of the computer I'm using to put this on and to edit that I then use to upload to YouTube. So sorry I don't have a little flash I used in the past. Anyway, both these are going to be on the same company here. First one, PSP Vita from Sony. Thing has been announced to only have a max of about 5 hours of battery life. Now ordinarily that wouldn't be too big of a deal and most people probably would be like, yeah, okay, we kind of have to deal with it. But Sony has already announced an add-on battery pack for it. Now, it's not a battery that you can put inside or longer-lasting battery. No, it's an attachment. Alright? It's an extra attachment that's going to... It hasn't been shown yet. No price has been on it or how much power it's going to have. But it's an attachment to the system. So instead of making the PSP Vita maybe, I don't know, maybe a ½ inch thicker and put a better battery in it that'll last a little bit longer... Granted, it may have increased the cost a couple dollars, but instead of doing that, if you want extra battery life, or to make it last long, or your PSP to last longer on a single charge, you have to buy this extra battery pack, which is probably going to cost about another 50 or 60 bucks. Granted, don't know. But, I mean, come on, man. Instead of making, like I said, the PSP Vita a little bit thicker and a little bit larger to put a longer life battery in there, see, if you would have made just a little bit better, or bigger, to where it would have a battery life that's maybe about 8 hours or 7 hours. It wouldn't be too big of a deal. Everybody would be cool with it. But no, you're trying to gank people for some extra fucking money because you're a sorry-ass shitty corporation that actually Jews their customers out of money. Now, granted, you don't have to get it. 5 hours may be good enough for you. But if you like to play a lot of portable games, guess what? You can be showing out more money for a battery pack. So to you, Sony, I say, come on, man. Alright, I'm already over 2 minutes, so fuck that. The next one, of course, as you people know, is Sony's EULA, or End User License Agreement, that they did with the latest update of the PSN network. Now, what they put in there, if you haven't already heard already, or if you haven't read, it basically states that if something in the future happens on the PS3, or what have you, say like if somebody hacks the PS3 again, or they remove features again, it keeps you pretty much from being able to levy a class action suit against them. Okay? Or, if you try to do it, they'll do it on a case-by-case basis, and you have to go through arbitration instead of going by the courts. Now, the reason why this is bad is whenever you have a big-ass corporation, it's actually cheaper for the company to go through arbitration, and usually arbitration, the arbiter that they have usually sides in favor of the big corporation. There's some more details into it that I'm not going to get into here and now, just because I want to keep this as short as I can. Now, what's also fucked up about this too, in small print at the bottom, you can actually opt out of this particular segment of the agreement that you're clicking OK to, as long as you send a written letter to a specific address to Sony within 30 days if you click an OK on the update. And then you can opt out of it and you can take them to court. But most people aren't going to read that. They're trying to slip this in there, cover their asses in the future. And you're trying to say that some of you Sony fanboys and fucking drones are trying to say that Sony cares about you? I mean, this is the same company that fucking lied about the initial hack. Said, no, nobody hacked us. They got hacked. And they said, well, no personal information was stolen. Personal information was stolen. And they fucking knew it a couple of days before everybody else knew it. But they tried to sweep it under the rug. And now this has got to make you wonder, Are they doing this just to cover themselves in the future, or is there something else that has already happened that they're trying to get this out there, get people to sign it, so that when it does come to light, they're covered? I mean, come on, man. Trying to do right by the customers, and you pulling this bullshit on them to say if you fuck up that they can't get retribution for it? Fuck you, Sony. Now, you see, anybody who's watched my channel long enough knows that I play PlayStation, I play Xbox, don't really play Nintendo, but it's just because they don't have any games that interest me. So I'm not just hating on Sony. But to the motherfuckers out there like Pyro that basically suck Sony's dick left and right and take it up the motherfucking ass whenever they have a chance to from Sony, you're literally going to be taking it up the ass here because they're fucking over the customers with this bullshit. And I don't care how you try to spin it, they're fucking you over. First with the PSP Vita, especially for those that are planning to use that, the Vita a lot. You know, it's trying to say, guess what? Instead of trying to make a better battery pack for the PSP Vita, or the PS Vita, whatever the fuck you want to call it, we're going to have you buy an extra battery pack that you got to attach to it somehow that's going to make it even bulkier than a motherfucker. And that's another thing, too. Motherfuckers like Pyro say shit about Nintendo with the add-on thumbstick thing that they're saying it's a bunch of shit and blah, 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 and it makes it bulky and makes it ugly and everything else. What do you think this fucking battery pack's going to do to your precious PSP Vita, motherfucker? I mean, seriously, man. What the fuck? Now, I know other companies like Nintendo, Microsoft are not, haven't done stupid shit in the past. But whenever I see a PSP fucking drone fucking fanboy and all they do is they praise Sony and then Sony does shit like this, but yet they somehow say it's okay, or they try to spin it and say that it's okay, fuck you, motherfuckers. I mean, Sony is also the same company, too, that at the beginning of this generation said that DualShock technology or Rumble technology, that was last gen. We don't need it. We're not going to put it in there. So you got the 6-axis without it. When in reality, they were being sued along with Microsoft because the people that invented the Rumble technology weren't getting paid by them. Now, Microsoft, instead of trying to, blow smoke up your ass and not include it in a 360, they went ahead and paid the people off. So, you know what? We fucked up. We're going to pay you. So, we're going to settle out of court. We can move on. Sony, on the other hand, they all of a sudden say, well, it's not needed for this generation. No, it's not needed. That's old technology. And then what happens? They finally settled the suit with a fucking company that did Rumble, or that originally did the Rumble, that held the patents on it. And then guess what? Oh, yeah, we're going to release a DualShock 3. Come on, if you haven't seen that, Sony has lied to you. And I'm not saying Microsoft hasn't lied on some situations. But for you fucking idiots, like Pyro and others that haven't seen that Sony has been giving it to you up the ass this whole gen, you guys are fucking retarded. Okay, this thing has already gone like 8 minutes now, man. I'm so sorry. Didn't mean for it to go this long, but I had a lot of shit to say. But then again, maybe people like Pyro like taking it up the ass. They're the people that actually, they're like the people, and sorry if this is a bad analogy and I offend anybody, but fuck you. They're like the people that get raped and then say, you know what? I deserve to get raped. Come on, man.